been trading sleep for dopamine, stacking wins like sins in a slot machine. I don't trust charts, I trust caffeine, and this voice in my head that says buy the dream. I put my rents on a breakout play, turn 20 bucks into an MBA. Now I'm God in a Discord full of fools, passing off drama as technical rules. Green looks good on me, even if I'm dead inside. I'll be rich and emotionally fried. Green looks good on me, I got bags under my eyes, but my portfolio's high. I'll survive. Talking candlesticks, sleeping ticks. Therapist says I'm addicted to risk, but hey, she charges by the hour while I compound gains like drunken power. My last ex said I was hard to read, so I sent her a chart, S&P. I treat FOMO like foreplay, baby. I make dumb moves look Warren Beatty. Green looks good on me, even if I'm losing friends. At least I got past the income and bed. With a Robin Hood crown, I turn therapy into a market rebound. Yeah, I'm charmingly reckless, chaotically blessed with a six-figure ego and zero rest. Ooh, green looks good on me, like a noose made of dollar signs, smiling while I cross those lines. Hey. Green looks good on me, call it luck, call it skill. Either way, I'm paying my therapist bills.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my little eggs with Hollandaise sauce. Hey, Piper's here. Piper came right in time for the show. Hey, say hi. Wah, 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 wah. It's always going to be a good day when Piper shows up this early. Oh, she doesn't want to be here. You don't want to be here? Is this not your thing, or are you trying to take a nap? What are you doing? What a perfect... Actually, look how good this match is right there. Look at that face compared to the... Right? You guys see that? You guys seeing that right there? You guys seeing that? Yeah, she's definitely the muse here. Oh, don't fall. Stop that. Stop. Hey, stop that. Man, the show's already gone off. Show's already gone off the rails here. Show's already gone off the reels. There's a couple things that I need to explain to you. Some of these you're going to believe, some of these you're not going to believe, but I do want you to know that these are all, in fact, very true. Story number one of the day. Before I started the show, I found one of her toys in the kitchen, so I pegged it across the kitchen into the living room. She was on the other side of the living room, and as I whipped it as hard as I could, dude, like a professional major league baseballer, she just like smacked it midair. She like was like tracking it, and she jumped up and just got it out of the air. It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, because she's also not that like athletic. In fact, she's uniquely unathletic as a cat. So that was cool. The second story that is completely true that you're probably not going to believe, well, this one's much more believable. I was up until about 2 a.m. trying to figure out why my code wasn't working yesterday. If you were paying attention, early in the morning, 2 strategies fired out of order, and really there should only ever be one strategy on at a time. So the out of order doesn't really bother me. It's the fact that strategy number 2 tried to fire when strategy number 3 was already in a position. So I was trying to figure it out, and I was going crazy. I was losing my mind, and it's getting close and close to 2 a.m. And then I found out, and for any of you who have ever coded before, you know most likely your error is going to be something really nonchalant, really small, really minuscule. It's not going to be some overall logic thing. It's going to be something simplistic. And hours into trying to find this needle in a haystack, I finally found it, and I was literally forgetting 2 brackets. That was it. I had this if conditional statement to check if a certain set of things existed, such as being in a position. So it was in it, and then if within that conditional statement, I wanted it to do various things, but because I forgot brackets, it was only doing the first line one. So that, I think, is a little bit more believable, but it seems insane to me because it cost me hours of my life. But to you guys, you're probably like, that's on par. That's most likely on par. Did you fix the 10 contract issue? I believe so. I think that's what it was this strategy number 2 was firing when strategy number 3 was in a position. And I think it's because I had an inappropriate way of checking if it was in a position, because it was basically just always firing, saying, nope, not in a position, not in a position, not in a position, not in a position. So it was a huge pain in the ass. What language? C#. It was so silly. I don't know how I did it. I think I was trying to clean up code before, and I started deleting too many brackets, and before you knew it, I deleted those brackets, and it's technically not an error. So I never found it in compilation, so I had to run through, and I was doing print statements, and I was like, dude, why is this always saying it's not in a position? And then hours into it, I finally figured it out. So here we are. Not only am I excited that my cat is finally turning into an athlete, not only am I excited that I figured out this code, and every day I'm getting a little bit closer to finding this holy grail to take as much money from these sim companies as I possibly can, which is my ultimate goal. I hope you guys know that I'm not doing this necessarily for my own trading prowess or anything. Like, my ultimate goal is to bankrupt these sim funding companies. This is a villain arc story. I don't want anyone thinking, oh, like, Matt's just trying to like be a quant and use math to make money. Like, maybe that's a side effect. I don't know. But I have specifically negative intentions. My goal is to burn the casino down. That these are the casinos. I want to go in. I want to win. I like when they declare bankruptcy, I want to be listed in it. I want them to be like, that fucker, he came for us. We couldn't stop him. He was a absolute steamroller. That's my goal. I do not have like these positive intentions. We're all like, we could all win. We could blah, blah, blah. No. This is the villain arc. I'm taking them down. We're burning them down. That's the goal. Will I hit the goal? I don't know, but I got to put it out there. The universe should give it back to me if I can put in enough effort, but the goal is literally burning these down. That's what I want to do. F you, I won't do that what you tell me. I don't know if you're talking to me, but that's aggressive. And then, obviously, as you could tell, Cat's an athlete, figured out the code to get one step closer to burning down these casinos. Step 3 is I think I'll be able to pull it off today at minimum, because as you could tell, I'm once again wearing my luckiest of all shirts. We are back in the Buffalo shirt. I just figured after yesterday, I needed a little bit of luck because it was kind of a bad beat situation. I put it on while I looked at it last night. Then I saw Meta's earnings, which I'm swinging a bunch of calls on. So I should be up about $20,000 when the market opens due to the Meta call position. If you haven't seen the earnings, basically we're gapping up to a new all-time high. Same thing with Microsoft, and we'll get into a couple of the other earnings as well. Of course, I want to explain all that. So should be waking up well in the long-term, well, medium-term swing account on options, like I said, about 25K. So that'll be nice to pay off some of my recent losers. And then ideally with this slight increase in vol, my system should actually perform even better. So I'm hoping that that's exactly what happens today. So folks, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe. But most importantly, there's a lot of you who watch this every single day, and I appreciate it. You guys are fucking rock stars. But I'm also getting, for some reason, an uptick in messages and DMs and emails from people saying they're not getting any notifications when we go live, when we post a video, when there's a new pick on OnlyFans. And I just want to remind you that all you have to do is hit the bell icon and switch that. Turn on the notifications, but make sure it's on all, not personalized. Make sure it's on all. So if you don't want to miss any videos, if you don't want to miss any streams, if you don't want to miss any MySpace updates, any of that, make sure you guys are turning that on. So just want to throw that out there because like I said, seeming a weird uptick in people saying, hey man, I'm trying to find you. Why am I not getting notifications whatsoever? So just wanted to put that out there. But folks, it is a beautiful Thursday, July the 31st. We are wrapping up the month. We are almost wrapping up the week. And let's see if we can make some money today. Let's see if we can make some money in the world's largest casino. S&P 500 futures rise after Meta and Microsoft post quarterly beats. They didn't just post quarterly beats. They curb stomped their quarterly report. They had their earnings report. They had to put its mouth on the side of the sidewalk, and they absolutely stomped it. They didn't just beat it, they murdered them in the most gruesome way possible. In fact, it was so brutal that the SPY is going to open up to a new all-time high. The NASDAQ is going to open up to a new all-time high. Meta's up 11%. Microsoft's up 8.5%. Folks, I want you to appreciate these are top 5 companies gaining another 10+% overnight. It's one thing when like a random ass penny stock, random pharma stock goes up this much. We are talking about titans. We are talking about not just blue chip tech stocks. We're talking about like Microsoft is now a $4 trillion stock. This is the second stock in existence to ever hit this feat following NVIDIA. This is insane. This is absolutely ridiculous how much market cap in the dollar value was added last night. And obviously it's because they had really good earnings and hey, a rising tide raises all ships, and that rising tide is the AI tide, which is apparently turning into a tsunami, and it's pushing everything to the mountaintop. But I'm going to get into more detail, but I do want to take a very quick step back to kind of explain some other things going on. Trump's tariff deadline is near, as in tomorrow. The current deadline, which we were promised by the Commerce Secretary Lutnick, hey, super promise it, pinky swear, whatever you want to call it, we're not going to move the deadline. Guess what? They've already been moving the deadline, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start moving it again. Even though we're being promised it by Lutnick that they're not going to move it, we've also been promised many things by Lutnick in the past that has just not come to fruition. But anyway, this is what you need to know in terms of like the larger picture, that there's going to be some trade deadline news this morning, probably throughout the day, and also probably tomorrow. Trump unleashes flurry of trade surprises on eve of deadline. He was popping off on social media, and I think Bloomberg did a pretty good breakdown.
Into the conversation. When it comes to South Asia, the countries have been hit hard. We've seen tariffs ranging from 20 to 46%. I mean, you can't say that the U.S., Trump in particular, has played hardball.
Yes, indeed. And I think, what has been surprising is that with India, the negotiations had been going quite well. And we were hearing as early as just a couple of weeks ago from senior levels of the Trump administration that they felt confident that they had unprecedented concessions coming from India. So, and we had been hearing from the Indian side as well that they thought that they had been close to reaching a phase 1 deal with the Trump administration. So for now, for the president to come in with a very hardball tactic of announcing 25% tariffs as well as penalties for, Russian oil and gas imports, et cetera, I think is a little bit surprising, and certainly to our Indian friends, they're kind of shocked because they thought that they were working in good faith and were close to having a deal.
Sucks to suck.
What went wrong, Nisha? What do you think went wrong? I mean, we talk about how, Trump has acknowledged Modi, for instance, as a good friend.
Well, first of all, I think that President Trump wanted more concessions on ag and on dairy and on GMO, as you noted, and those were concessions that, frankly, India is just not in a position to make at this time. From their perspective, it's politically extremely sensitive for their farmers and dairy culturally.
It's going to get a little bit more sensitive there, sister.
On the other hand, we had also been hearing that the president wanted to maintain a 20% tariff rate for India, and that also was a non-starter for the Indians, particularly when 15% rates had been announced in the agreement with Japan, with the EU, and now with South Korea. So I think the Indians, I think, had been negotiating for a tariff rate that was going to come in around 13%, and had agreed to bring down their own tariffs down to zero in many, many sectors. So I think all of that now hangs in the balance. And the question is, what is the next step? Is the next step going to be India retaliating, or will they continue to negotiate in good faith and work towards a tariff deal, perhaps not by August 1, but hopefully by the fall?
I would argue, specifically if India does not give Trump what he wants, and maybe this is right or wrong in terms of morally, but if they don't, I would say economically, he could cripple India so incredibly fast. If the pipeline of U.S.-India business turns off, you know how quickly south it's going to go for India as a nation. So I think it's a matter of time before they strike another deal, surprise, surprise, in the favor of the U.S., which is exactly what's been going down. Bessent says not to panic over tariff rate surges on August 1st. Okay, I feel like when the Treasury Secretary is telling us to not panic about things that are about to happen tomorrow, makes me feel like we should probably panic. So it's either we should panic because it's really bad, or Howard Lutnick has once again said something that proves to be the exact opposite of reality. So either they're going to extend it or they're not going to extend it, and we should panic. So in this situation, either the Treasury Secretary or the Commerce Secretary, one of them is feeding us a form of a bologna sandwich. And I don't know about you guys, but it is not lunchtime, at least not quite yet. So we're going to see how that plays out. Obviously, you need to pay attention to that today, tomorrow, throughout the trading session. Today, we're going to see the reverberations. I deserve reverberations. Anyway, of Powell. Yesterday, we got a little bit of a surprise. I'm not going to lie to you. Powell came in a little bit more feisty than normal, as in, hey, guys, he made it very clear that there might not be a rate cut in September, which was kind of surprising. Everyone knew we were not getting a rate cut this time around. There is no meeting in August, just so everyone knows. The next meeting is September. And the anticipation from the market was basically, okay, we're not going to get it. He's going to tell us everything's stable. We're going to have 2 more months worth of data, and there's a good chance that we get rates cut in September. But he used a decent amount of his Q&A time to explain scenarios in which we don't get a rate cut in September. And that's actually right when the market was like, what are you talking? Like, look, he started speaking at 2:30, where my cursor is in the top left of your screen. And then as he kept talking, it got worse and worse and worse. And the market's like, dude, is this guy gonna, like, is he serious right now? Is he actually serious about that? So the market didn't like it the most, obviously. And it actually got to the point here. Let me show you guys this, where right here, top right of your screen, 250 is when the big guys started selling. Large players right here, this drop in the teal line, they just started selling into the afternoon. Now, obviously, it didn't really work out well for them. It did shift the odds before. Going into yesterday, there was a 60% chance of us getting at least a 25 bips rate cut in the September meeting. Now, there's a 61% chance that we stay at 4.25%. That is the whole hubbubaloo of yesterday. Hubbubaloo. Hubbubaloo. I think hubbubaloo is the word, and hubbubalub is like a weird, almost infantile way to try to say like blubber or something. Hubbubaloo, hubbubalub. Hubbubaloo is definitely the word, but why is hubbubalub not a word? I feel like we should get it in there. Don't ask me how I would spell it. I have no fucking clue how I would spell it. Hubbubaloo, the word, which I also probably couldn't spell, but hubbubalub, not a word, but should be a word. So put a pin in that. We'll come back to that conversation a little bit later. We could take a vote on what it does mean and what it doesn't mean. But anyway, the hubbubaloo of yesterday was the fact that this shifted, and it shifted pretty dramatically. Powell's gamble that the economy will reveal its true self in the next 2 months. Fed Chair keeps his options wide open for the September meeting, promising little while ruling out nothing. And his options were spread pretty wide, a little bit more wide than we would like them to be spread. And I like it. If the earnings went bad last night, this would become a much bigger issue. But in reality, the market clearly took it in stride and said, all right, whatever. Maybe we get a rate cut. Maybe we don't in September. We know that there's issues between Trump and Powell. I would very much argue that maturing in as a trader, as an investor, is actually realizing that Powell's doing the right thing. Anyone who even has like a minimal knowledge of monetary policy, and folks, it's a basic equation. A lot of people think that this is some sort of like hyper complicated thing of how we decide this type of stuff. It's not. You literally put basic numbers into a basic equation and then you see it. As long as you know inflation, jobs, job reports, retail spending, you all those, like every single day where I'm like, yo, retails, PCE, CPI, housing. When you take those into account, they just go into an equation. That's it. That's the job of the Fed. It's not like they have some sort of like deep well, they do have a deep discussion, and then they just go with what the model tells them to anyway. Folks, you can know the model. The model's not a difficult thing. It's easily found. And then people, I think there's a giant misconception of like how they come up with these numbers, and it's not at all. I would actually say his commentary drove the market down more to make it like he's reminding the market of, hey, folks, you might not even get a cut in September. And because of that, people panicked a little bit more. But I mean, it's just as numbers come in good, the chance of us getting a rate cut's not so good if inflation's still above 2%. For them to give us a rate cut, and I know this sounds like a little upside down, but what they're looking for is either for the picture to get perfect, as in no inflation, okay, great, or they're actually looking for the economy to weaken, which actually kind of brings me to what came out this morning. Breaking, this came out at 8:30 a.m. ET, so I don't know, at this point, almost an hour ago. You could see that the month-over-month readings pretty much in line, 0.3 versus 0.3, 0.3 versus 0.3. But then looking at the year-over-year, came in at 2.6 when they were expecting 2.5, came in at 2.8 when they were expecting 2.7. So the PCE numbers month-over-month coming in at expectation, year-over-year slightly higher than expected. Initial jobless claims coming in at 218 versus 222, so pretty much in line, a little bit less than expected, so that's actually a good thing. And I do want to remind you that we're getting the Chicago PMI numbers later today. But the real stars of the show are earnings. So after the market closed yesterday, we heard from Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood, Carvana, Lam Research, Qualcomm, Ford, and ARM, and most of them, at least the really big guys, absolutely crushed. Before I get into that, I do want to let you know, after the market closes today, another big report. We have Apple, we have Amazon, we have Strategy, aka MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Reddit, Riot, Cloudflare, Roku, all big ones. And then tomorrow morning before the market opens, some of the energy plays, ExxonMobil and Chevron. So the way there was big movements right after the market closed yesterday, look for that to happen again today. And now let's rewind to why we are looking so good. Microsoft set to hit $4 trillion in market cap after an earnings beat. Microsoft stock pops 9% on earnings beat as Azure annual revenue tops $75 billion. For those of you who don't know what it is, that is their cloud sector. The way Google has Google Cloud, it's just the way Amazon has AWS. This is the equivalent of Microsoft. And the fact that its revenue is topping $75 billion, well, as you can imagine, that I guess just blew all estimates out of the water. And that's why Microsoft is up how much right now in pre-market? A nice 9%. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But it wasn't the only one partying. Meta seizes its moment to spend aggressively in the AI race. This giant pivot on Zuckerberg, for Zuckerberg or for the company, but led by Zuckerberg, of metaverse to AI, the market is eating it up. And actually, if you want proof of it, let's play a fun game of on this weekly chart. Can you guys pinpoint where they publicly announced that they're going to stop pissing away money on the metaverse and start pivoting into AI? Can anyone on this chart, If all I could drag my mouse across and you could tell me where to stop. But on this weekly chart for Meta, does anyone think they have an idea of when there was a giant corporate shift of going from Reality Labs metaverse to AI? Anyone want to pick out a general time frame of maybe when that was announced? Well, not to give away the answers to this early morning pop quiz, pretty much the end of 2022. Pretty much at the end of 22, the start of 23, they're like, yep, we're going to dial back our spending on this and probably most likely kill the metaverse research. And we're now going to get involved in this thing called AI. You're right. That's exactly when it happened. And from this low to where we are right now, it is 774%. That is fucking stupid. Meta's acting like a penny stock. 103 bars, 103 weeks later, a couple years. This is from August of 23 to basically now August of 25. We are looking, that's crazy. 775% return. That is disgusting. Meta shares climbed 10% on revenue beat and raised forecast. Basically, everyone loves the direction it's going. Qualcomm beats on earnings, highlights growth in Meta smart glasses. So a little bit of partnership there. Qualcomm, another tech play, obviously good partnership. Robinhood reports second quarter earnings beat with revenue climbing 45%. But I believe when I checked in on it this morning, it was actually down. Is that still true? It is barely down, I suppose. We closed out at 106, currently trading just below 106. So Robinhood technically beating, but the stock, I mean, also obviously already up quite a bit. So maybe people are saying that, hey, man, it's kind of fairly priced in. All right. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, MattKohrs.locals.com. It's 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. It comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for the earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. I do want to let you know for the rest of today at 9:45, there's going to be the Chicago PMI report. And then also with respect to seasonality, today's neutral. Some years it's bullish, some years it's bearish. I would say in aggregate, it ends up just being neutral. So that doesn't mean think of today as choppy. It means just don't really necessarily take seasonality into account. So just wanted to share that with all of you. And then I also want to give you my key levels of the day. As of now, we are anticipating to open up around 6418. 6418, which puts us roughly where my cursor is. Obviously, we have these upside targets, lots of things going on at 6450, 6460. We have a lot of support and also the downside gap fill around 6,400. The all-time highs right now, what actually is it? The all-time high, I should mark this out just so we don't forget it. The all-time high is 6409. So that's another one that you should definitely be keeping into account. So if we open up right now, we're opening up at a new all-time high. So these are the key levels: the high, the low, the close, the transition zone, and major open interest levels. Of course, we will be coming back to that throughout the day. What I want to show you is I have Meta calls. Going into earnings yesterday, I was down. I was down bad. I was down 10K. I am beyond excited to see how this opens because I think I should be up about 20K if my math is right. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. And I'm also excited to see how the bots go because, are they on? Did I stop it? Stop it. Did I turn the bots on? Yes or no? Okay, the bots are in fact on. So we're going to check the meta stuff. We're going to see how the bots rip it today. We have a lot to check in on. We have a lot to pay attention to, a lot to check in on. There might be some profit taking that open. I have no clue, but we are getting ready to rip it. And when is this supposed to go? I thought it was going to fire by now. No, it's not. Okay, so if things do what they're supposed to, there should be two trades, small trades, right out of the gate. And if I did the code right, they should not be stepping on each other's toes. That is the major thing I'm looking for today, is to basically silo all the strategies where they don't fuck with each other. If I can do that today, we're making a good step forward. A good step. All right.
Order
Boom.
filled.
Bada bing, bada boom, out of the gate, right where I needed to be. Bada bing, bada boom. Like I said, one little quick trade. All right, trade one is good. Nothing else fired quite yet. So let's see how this one goes. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, so that one worked. That one worked. Look at that. A nice 24,000.
Submitted.
Uh-oh, we're trading again.
Order filled.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Order filled.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's what I like to hear. All right, we are 2 for 2. There's a little bit of slippage. Some of these are at 50. Some of these are at 120. I don't know why the slippage is seemingly getting worse, but it is what it is. That is quite a bit of slippage, actually. Like an aggressive amount of slippage. All right. We
Order
also just
filled.
already snagged the third one. How is that possible? Wait, what the fuck? It hit its profit target and I somehow lost money. Well, that's just fucking crazy. I don't know what to tell you guys on that one. I don't. It hit its profit target and I'm somehow losing money. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, nothing like hitting your profit target and having such bad slippage. Fuck me, dude. That's just that's insane. That's absolutely fucking insane. All right, this copier. I don't know if it's got I know what I have to do. I have to run these strategies independently on all accounts. The issue is when you have 30 accounts and 6 strategies, that means I have to set up 180 strategies. Like it's gonna take me an entire calendar week, a business week, to get this. Not enough liquidity, dude. It's sim trading. None of these orders are actually hitting the market. All right. Well, it's working. Technically, all the strategies has hit their profit, except there's so much slippage that some are losing money while others are making money. Fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Well, on the plus side, I am up 20 grand, so that's pretty sick. So I can't complain about it because I fucking destroyed this play. So that's a nice win. That's a nice win. All right. Let's get ready. Let's see what we have. So I believe 3 have fired, which I think means 3 more should fire. It's technically it is slippage, but there's another issue as well, and it has to do with the copying. It's not trading each one independently in terms of profit target, because you're gonna have slippage from where you get in, especially when you're trading so many accounts. So like, let's say one's slightly off. The one that is slightly off is taking the profit target of the one that got in appropriately. It's taking this one. So like, you have to kind of trade them independently, which is just fucking stupid. But I'll figure it out. I know the solution to that one. That one is apply the strategy to each trading account independently, which it's just going to take a lot of time to do that. But I guess if that is the way to do it, that's just the way to do it. I might try, before I do that, I might try one more trade copier. I'm starting to realize that maybe the trade copier I have is just dog shit. And I'm hearing some good things about, what's it called? Like Replicanto. And then the other one I'm hearing good things about is Trade Sinker. I haven't used either. I am not saying anything positive or negative about either of them. I'm just letting you know that I personally have not used them. I have not touched them. All I know is I'm up a shitload of money on Meta. I'm up 138%. I'm up 27K. Hey, where's that guy who's like talking shit yesterday? I have a feeling that I want to bullshit with him again, because I even though, well, what was he doing? He was shorting SoFi, right? Wow. Yeah, no, that short looked like it worked out. That one, if you ask me, he seems like a genius. I, too, wish that I went short SoFi. The great SoFi debate over the past 2 days. Damn. If only, even with him making up trades, he can't even make money. Like, obviously fictitious. There's no way someone like that is betting 75K per trade. But, you know, I guess there's a sucker born every minute. There's a sucker born any minute. Beating a dead horse, eh, Maddie? Yeah, I am. You're allowed to beat a dead horse. I'm allowed to beat 22,000 dead horses. I do have a limit on how many dead horses I'm allowed to beat, and it happens to be this number right here. So when I hit that number, you guys can let me. I'm not saying I'm going to beat dead horses infinitely. There is an upper bound to it, and this is the upper bound. When I have successfully beaten 23,401 dead horses, I will then take a break. That's how I plan on handling the situation. Actually, speaking of that, I do need to I might have to get out of meta today, so let's check that. I just want to make sure that people aren't profit taking on me. Meta. Okay, they are not. They're actually getting more aggressive. Great. If that starts to turn, I might need to pull the old ripcord and move on with my life. I'm going to stay in as long as the trend is strong. And obviously, this is specific to meta. We are seeing the old combination of buying longer duration calls. No one's really touching puts. And even the calls for tomorrow are a little bit lackluster, but longer duration calls adding quite a bit of positive delta to the system. So as long as I see this, I'm not going to get out. My goal as a trend following trader is to ride the trend as long as it is actually there. I'm not going to get out arbitrarily just because I see like big numbers. Like that's kind of silly because big money is made from big trends. That's how this game works. And for you to take advantage of a big trend, it inherently means you probably have to be in for quite a while. So as long as the price is holding up, but most importantly, well, really most importantly is the price, but I want price to hold up with the options flow. If I see profit taking, that's probably the moment where I'm like, all right, cool. I made my whatever money. I made my 25K and I will move on with my life. So that's the plan. That's the plan. It would also be the plan if I could, this fucking slippage, man, brutal. The fact that I'm trading the exact same strategy and some are green and some are red, that's just unfortunate at a certain point, you know? That is just straight up unfortunate, but we'll make it back. We'll make the markets cry about the day it met us, you know? We'll make these markets cry. There actually might be an opportunity. Meta's still going. Hell yeah. Got it. Here's a look at the Mag 7 flow this morning. A nice pop. Here's a look at the S&P 500. Little drop, little pop, little drop. Not much on the SPY, but the Mag 7 is trending up. And the NASDAQ also just kind of jagged. Well, while we're waiting for the next batch of algos to actually trade, I want to let you know about something that's really crazy. So as you can see, here's all my take profit accounts. Take profit. They just announced one of the craziest deals I've ever heard, and it lasts for the next 5 days. So not only will you get 40% off and no activation fee, you will also get 100% of your initial test refunds in the account's first withdrawal, as in you can technically pull this off for absolutely no money. You get 40% off on the initial charge, no activation fee. You pass the eval, you go to a funded account. On your first withdrawal, they're going to give you that first fee back, as in this will be, technically, if you trade well, you essentially will be getting a pro account for $0 if you are fortunate enough if you trade well enough to get to that point of the payout. That is crazy. 100% initial test refund on top of 40% off, on top of no activation fee. I have to say, the increase in competition in this sim-funded sphere is amazing for all of us. It really is, because every company is now being driven to do crazier and crazier and crazier deals. So this is going to last for 5 days. It does not apply to any pre-existing accounts. So if you want to take advantage of it, it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Use that code Goonie. But like I said, 40% off, no activation fee as you get going. When you pass the test, go to funded, take out your withdrawal. Not only do you get your withdrawal, they're going to give you that initial feedback, as in you had to pay nothing, and you're also getting your payout. It lasts for 5 days. It does not apply to any pre-existing accounts. Unfortunately, I wish it did, because I bought my accounts yesterday, so I'm a little bit bummed out about that, but I guess it's the good news, bad news. Good news, it's one of the craziest deals I've ever heard of. Bad news is it does not apply to me, because I just got my accounts yesterday. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And we're getting a little bit of a breakdown there on SPY. Mike Kimmel sent 5 to the Matt Kohrs. Oh, 5 membership. Shout out Mike Kimball, Pickle Me Timbers, J Bones, Miss Gina. Congrats. Randy. Congrats. Hey, how are AMD and Palantir looking on trends? Well, they literally just hit an all-time high, didn't they? I would say a pretty strong trend. Yeah, all-time high today. If you're hitting, well, no, AMD. I was thinking of Avago. Avago hit an all-time high yesterday. AMD, but it's in that sphere. So it's not an all-time high. It's a local high. It's a technical breakout. I get that you're asking about, what do you, like, look at it. I mean, I don't think anyone I don't even think a non-sober person could see, like, this is so obviously bullish. Same thing with Palantir. So, like, I mean, I don't think, I mean, do you have like a more in-depth question? Because that one on the surface levels, it's very obvious. Palantir, all-time high, higher highs, higher lows. AMD, not an all-time high. It is a local high, higher highs, higher lows. Like, I feel like you're trying to ask something a little bit more in depth, because those are so obviously bullish that, like, even a person who's never traded before would probably know that that's bullish. So I feel like you're trying to ask something else. So feel free to post that if you are. Okay, Meta, a little bit of a breather. I need to keep checking on this. The Meta Delta flow has just gone sideways right now, unfortunately. Well, I guess it's better than selling. So I'm just closely watching this, because I might need to take my money at some point today. So if I keep looking over here, it's just exclusively because I'm continually checking the options flow on Meta, which is currently up 12.5%. Microsoft giving back some of the gains, but currently up 5.3%. So still pretty amazing. Top companies by market cap. I want to see Microsoft. It didn't. I was wondering if it outpaced Nvidia, but it's number 2 right now. It is sitting above 4 trillion, but Nvidia is sitting at 4.4 trillion. Apple's actually number 3 at 3. Oh, hang on. Well, okay, I got back in the green. That one was real quick. Honest, dude, folks, that one happened before I could even switch it over. I don't get it. This is some large slippage. Some are in the red, they're less in the red, and then some are in the green. So what? Look at this disparity. One of these is down 105. One of these is up 345. Is this one might be the lead account. It is. So, okay. Something interesting is going on here. The lead account is up 345, while all the follower accounts, none of the follower accounts are beating so every account, if I ran it independently, would be at 345. But I'm using this account as the lead account and copy trading all the trades over. That's crazy. That's a $450 differential. A $455 differential. So the lead account is doing the best. Fuck. What would be the easiest way to do this? Because that's just not right. That's a huge drop off. Losing 105 to making 345, literally running the exact same code. The like, fuck. Yeah. The main solution that comes to mind is spend hours of my life setting up the strategy on all the accounts individually, which is going to take forever. It's going to take forever. That's 180 strategies. Oh, man. Okay. What I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to try a different trade copier. Maybe it's just the trade copier I have, which is the one from Apex. Maybe it's just uniquely shitty. I don't know. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I was going to, for a second there, I had an idea of should I just do it now? I don't think I'll be able to get it set up in time. Okay, so the goal for tomorrow is keep all the strategies because they're working as of now, knock on wood, but we're going to try a new trade copier tomorrow. And if the new trade copier doesn't work, then I'll just spend hours of my life over the weekend applying all the strategies independently to all the unique accounts because that's kind of crazy. I have 300 megabytes fiber at home, and I noticed that when I trade TPT and Apex accounts at the same time, there's more slippage. When I only use one, I get less slippage. Well, my speed, I mean, I'm fibered in. I get 900 down, 900 up. So it's highly, because I mean, I'm like plugged in. So you're saying you're getting more slippage when it's across different accounts. Huh. I mean, I could try that. I could try to put all of the different types together. So I could try a whole new trade copier, and I could try to bucket all the firms together, like all Apex together, all Take Profit together, all Funding Ticks together, all Tradeify together. Maybe that's a worthwhile one. Maybe. Man, I have no proof of this, but like there's just something nagging in the back of my head that when it comes to the data, that these SIMDA-funded firms are just not advanced enough from a technology standpoint to do very quick orders. I just don't think that they could do it. I don't think it's necessarily nefarious. Of course, it might be nefarious, and they might be trying to fuck us over, but I think that the Occam's razor explanation is they just don't have advanced enough tech for it to behave exactly how it should. Just got my payout approved on my second Apex payout, 1,516 days. Let's go. Dude, J-Mac crushing it. J-Mac just crushing it. Sick humble brag about your Wi-Fi. Well, that's my point, is I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm plugged in, and I just have Verizon Fios. That actually, for me, and just for how much I used to move, for those of you who've been watching me since 2021, you know that I've moved a lot of times, and in all those moves, it's always inherently a battle of like the internet speed. Is it good enough to stream? Is it good enough to do this, that, and the other thing? So like one of the major things I have to consider whenever I move somewhere else is, can I get Fios? Can I get fiber lines? It's pretty much like a requirement of my life to run, because I have a lot of programs that are running on the data, of course. So it's like crunching a lot of data in real time. And then to simultaneously do that while streaming, not only do I have to have a decent, like not the most powered computer ever, but like a decently powered computer, but also like a base requirement for me to be able to survive is truly very much, what the fuck was that? Is like, I just need good internet. I need good internet and somewhat of a powerful computer to like pull off what I'm doing. Makes sense, the extra millisecond to send the instructions out to different firms. It very well could. I mean, that's actually something that what sucks is, and rightfully so, you guys were yelling at me yesterday for like, why weren't you back testing this? And like, why weren't you seeing what's going on? Well, the issue you're seeing right now, that can't be back tested. You don't know, like, that's just like a little data slippage issue that like when you back test your stuff, That's just more of like the theoretical perfect of like, yep, you got in here, you got out here. Backtesting doesn't take into account slippage and the potential time delay between one company and the other company. Like it's just, that's only something that you're doing in out of sample testing. And unfortunately, you kind of have to take it in stride. It sucks. It's just, it is literally just part of the game. And as much as I wish it weren't, it just is. Now, like what I'm saying is you guys do have a good point. There were other logical issues like the one I had yesterday of when the two strategies were competing for opposite trades. That's something that if I wasn't such an asshat, I would have tested beforehand. Like, of course. So like you guys are half right. And also like there's other aspects of it that it's just like impossible to figure out. I've been watching you for a long time. You've grown so much as a trader. Keep killing it, Matt. Could you please give me your take on Google? Not the biggest fan, but I'll happily do a technical analysis. Well, if it keeps going here, that is a fake out breakdown pushed to new high, or it could end up being a horrible shoulder, head, shoulder. So unfortunately, this technical setup, first of all, it's effectively range bound going sideways. It just happens to be a very large range. It did make a fresh low, but that could just be, like I said, that brutal fake out. But here, if it doesn't take out this recent high, you literally have a shoulder, head, shoulder. So I think there's a strong technical argument for this being either. It could also just be a double bottom pop. So like, from a technical perspective, you could easily argue this setup right now in Google is both strongly bullish and strongly bearish, depending on like what your bias is. Now, if you're actively trading it, obviously it has good ranges and take advantage of that. But I'm personally very hesitant to invest in Google because of how embroiled they are in so many lawsuits right now. And to my understanding, and I'm definitely no lawyer, connection lost. Hello? Mom? Well, I also lost connection to bookmap data. Can you guys hear me? Is it me who lost it, or is it them who lost it? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Fuck. Dude,
Order submitted.
no, not this again.
Order filled.
Okay, fine. That just ran on these accounts. So, fuck me. I missed it on the Apex account. Son of a bitch. Fuck you. Wow. Right when the strategy fires, Apex goes dark on me. Right when your boy locks in a little bit of money on the phase 2 long first entry, fucking Apex goes dark. Anything to keep me down. Anything to keep me down. Son of a bitch. Son of a gun. You know, folks, just old Mateo. Old Mateo. Can't catch a break. I'm not pissed. You're pissed. I'm not about to revenge trade it. I'm 100% not about to revenge trade. That would be crazy. I have so much more discipline than that. I have so much more discipline. I'm not angry. You're angry. I'm not thinking about it at all. I don't feel as if Apex just stole $100 from me on 20 accounts as in 2K. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. Great internet connection. I don't think that was on me because Bookmap also lost it while I kept my connection to the other firms. I have a feeling it was like actually them. The trade copier I'm working on seems to be working well with live data. Use the sim account to lead and trading 6 Apex trade of 8 accounts with low slippage. Super dangerous to trade on sim accounts live because they'll get a theoretically perfect fill while your following accounts might not. And I ran into that issue late last week. where if you're trading on a pure sim, as in not related to a sim defining company, those get theoretical perfect fills. Not just Apex, same thing happened to me with TPT. So I guess whoever the inherent data provider was, if people are having various issues, Bookmap went down as well. Something else had to happen. Something had to happen with the generic data provider. S&P 500 options picking up ever since 9:45. I do want to remind you. Oh wait, the announcement was at 9:45. Okay, cool. This is the NASDAQ. Let's look at the Mag 7. Mag 7 was good until 9:39 going down. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess. Wait, what just went off? Palantir. Did Palantir go to a new all-time high? It did. Palantir, dingity ding ding, new all-time high. Anyway, the Mag 7 delta is now coming down. My guess is it's Microsoft. It is Microsoft. So quite a bit of profit taking going on MSFT, and that is obviously having the adverse effect on the Mag 7. Tesla actually also going down ever since 9:42. Nvidia was going down, now going sideways. Palantir is ripping. Microsoft down. Apple was going up, got hit pretty hard at 9:45. Netflix down. MSTR up. MSTR is ripping it. Meta is holding. Avago slightly down. AMD slightly down. Oh, what time is it? It is 9:55. It is 9:55. 9:55. All right. I think I am, in fact, going to do something stupid. So hold my beer.
Order filled.
Hold my beer. I'm doing something dumb. Okay. What did I do? How dumb was dumb?
Order submitted.
Okay. I was peeking this on another screen, and
Order
I figured,
filled.
nice. All right. So that I was long 3, locked in 2. Dude, I'm still having connection issues over here. Son of a gun. Hopefully those locked in. So I went long 3, and then I intentionally sold 2 right before resistance, which Bookmap dropped its data. So that's a bit awkward. So I got these accounts back into the green. I'm now trading the Apex accounts independently of the other ones. So I just manually went long 3, locked in 2. I have a runner, and we're going to see if this runner can run. And then the other ones are still, the algos are still on for them. And actually, now that I'm saying that, let me make sure I turn Apex off over there. Okay, I did. So I think we're looking groovy, team. I think we're looking groovy. I think we are looking groovy. Groovy. Let's just see. I'm a little bit nervous, if I'm being honest, about the shift at 10 a.m. Generally, at 10 a.m., we see potential inverted type of moves. And will that be the thing that really gets us going on the day? Or is this just going to be a lower high and we end up getting crushed? Time will tell. We have hit a new all-time high. Just want you guys to know that on the S&P 500, brand new all-time high. So whatever the intraday high is, that's going to be the all-time high. As you can see, my main target of the day on SPX, due to where I'm seeing the open interest levels, it is 6450, 6460. Somewhere in here, that's my main target. My reach target's all the way up at 6,500. But I want to clarify, that's a big reach. This is really my main goal. We came down higher, or we found support. Maybe it goes. Maybe we need to revisit it. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but this is my main target area. I'm also watching Meta here. I just don't want to get clapped on that one. Meta. There's a little bit of profit taking going on right now. I'm up 25K still on this one, which for me is awesome because I was down 10K on it. There was a $35,000 reversal on that bad mamma jamma. A 35. Oh, golly. Uh-oh. My runner is not running. My runner is not running. Come on. Just bounce it right back. Come on. I just want to see this test of VWAP. That's really what I'm looking at. 2378. We'll get
Order
out at 25.
submitted.
Why not? I'm really looking for a test of VWAP. How's this data looking? Well, that doesn't look right. They're definitely having some data. Yeah, you could see where they had the data outage right past 9:57:30. So how can I zoom in to get rid of? Okay, there we go. All right, the chart doesn't look as messed up. All right, so they took out the support at 80.77. There was some support here. Now there's resistance at 82. This is called Bookmap if you want a nice discount on it, but this just shows you the sitting sell orders, the sitting buy orders, and aggressive fills, aggressive buys, aggressive sells. Kind of just gives you a nice idea of where sitting liquidity is. I find that this tool is very, very useful if you are a day trader, if you're a scalp trader of like, hey, I'm just trying to get in, get out, identify some key levels real quick. I'm sure you could use this for swing trading, but in my mind, this tool is best lent for improving your day trading and knowing what levels to target, what levels to avoid. So for example, right here in the bottom of the screen, you can see there's quite a bit of buyers coming in at 660. Might be good to target that if you're short. Might be good to have a buy order there if you're trying to be a bull. You want to buy where other big players are buying. You want to sell right before where other big players are selling. So that's kind of a quick and dirty explanation of how I would use this. Interesting areas to buy. And then as you scroll here, you're probably going to see some interesting levels to sell. Yeah, you could see 95, you could see 700. People are identifying these psychological levels, but the thing that really jumps out to me is all these sitting buy orders at 23,660. So as of now, that'll serve as support. Let's see if we could take out some of this resistance. Where are we at? Hang on, scratch that. Did I mess this up? We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. All right. All right. So 4 of the 7 have run, and I'm trading them on most accounts, and then I'm manually trading the Apex accounts just because the slippage seemed to be a little bit too great today. And I'm honestly, this is a basic play for me. I went long 3. I locked in 2 to give me a little bit more of a buffer. And honestly, I'm just targeting right before VWAP because my suspicion is that people are going to react to it. On attempt 1 to break above 700, it was not successful. I'm hoping that attempt 2 is, and we run right up to VWAP, and I'm selling it right before VWAP, which is this white dashed line. VWAP is the volume weighted average price. It's a level that big players and small players legitimately react to, which is why I'm trying to sell right before it. And even though I do think we have a good shot of a strong recovery, for me, that's just going to be enough profit on the day that I don't need to be greedy. So that's kind of like, I don't know, everything going on in my mind for that particular play. The 5-minute is bearish. The 10-minute is bearish. The 30-minute is holding bullish. The 4-hour is very much bullish. All right, let me set those up. Nasdaq bearish on the 5 and the 10. Attempting to recover on the 30, needs to get above 709. And then the 4-hour is still very much bullish. So this is your momentum look. Here's your options look. The Mag 7 did pop, maybe popping up a little bit now. The Nasdaq is finally picking up. S&P 500 is going flat after a nice pop there. Here's a look at your gamma map. Obviously, big gamma bars at 35. Oh, someone must have put on an iron condor. Did they? Yeah, there is a little bit of an iron condor at 35 by 40. So you should definitely be marking that on your chart. 35 by 40. So you're going to want to mark out 37 roughly. So we got to pay attention to that level because that's the halfway point of this call credit spread. There also happens to be a put credit spread making the full iron condor at 55 by 50, which I think I should have that. Well, it's right here, basically. 52. It's not far away from a level we already had. So just kind of watching to see how that plays out. It's not the biggest position either. There's actually a much bigger long call position up here. Dude, talk about, do people know something we don't know? This is insane. Someone is long 28,000 calls up to 6,500 expiring today. This isn't sold calls. This isn't them saying, hey, I'll collect a little bit of premium, and even if it's bullish, it's not going to be that crazy. This is 28,000 long calls up to 6,500 today. That's a crazy position, especially on a Thursday. What? If we somehow rip all the way up there and this guy gets paid, I mean, that's a bet. That's 28,000 contracts. That's nuts to me. That's absolutely nuts to me. Are we looking over here? 26K. I'm liking that. We're paying attention. We're paying attention. All right. Let's look for this trend line breakout. Let's look for the old trend line breakout. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Yeah, we had a sell-off, a pop. Now we have a little bit of a bull channel, but let's just make sure it's not a lower high that we end up vomiting from. Palantir, new all-time high, taking a bit of a breather right now in the 1 minute, but once again, all-time high. Meta's just going flat. Biggest gainer of the day. SPY catching a little bit of a bid in price. Options not so much. The Mag 7 maybe curling up. The NASDAQ did have a nice pop, giving some back for right now. Giving some back. Giving some back.
Order filled.
All right. I just added 2 more on that breakout.
Order submitted.
Come on, come on. I'm just manually trading Apex. The other ones are still going to be algo run. So I had 3, sold 2, was riding 1 on the pullback, and then on the breakout of the pullback, I added 2 more, and so that brought me back to 3, and I just got out of 2 of those. So I once again have the same runner. I just now have it at a better fill, and I've already locked in 2. So not only do I have a better fill now, but now I also have more buffer, and you could see that by the fact that these accounts are just rippity skippity doodah to the upside. So once again, I'm just trying to ride one runner all the way up here, and just it came down. I bought that. Blah blah blah. You've heard it before. You've heard it all before. You guys know what's up. You know what's good. You know who's who's. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Oh, dude, fucking in the zone today. I feel like this shirt, man. It's just when you put on your Lucky Buffalo shirt, like, what can't you do, you know? That's the real question, is as soon as you slap on a bad Mama Jamma Buffalo shirt, like, the world's your oyster, honestly. Everything's aligning for me today. I fixed my code this morning. Piper joined us at the start of the show. And on top of that, I have on my lucky shirt. Like, it's actually probably impossible for me to lose money today. I'm just trying to think of all the things that are, like, going right for me. I think actually, like, statistically, I can't lose money. I just don't know how I would. Reminder, Take Profit is running one of the craziest deals I've ever seen for Sim to Funded. 40% off, no activation fee. And by the time you get your first withdrawal, you can get 100% of your initial test refunded to you. So basically, you could get an account, a funded account, for $0. That is insane. pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. Get 40% off, no activation fee, 100% initial test refund in your first withdrawal. Just use that code Goonie when you are getting out, when you are checking out. We keep knocking on the door of this breakout. Come on, let's see that follow through. Let's see that follow through. We're making a shelf here. Let's just see if we can actually bust through. S&P 500 kind of going flat. Mag 7 picked up a little bit, but not a new delta high. Let's look at Bookmap. Oh, there's a lot of people trying to sell at 707. That's going to be the battle right there. See, this is what's so cool about Bookmap. Is how else would you know this information? It just makes it visually so easy that if you're a scalp trader and you're like, okay, man, I'm going to go long at 85. I just want to get in and out. Where should I target? Well, you could target 699, a point below this, or you could target 705, 706 right before this junk. And if you want to wait and be like, okay, where's a good area to buy? If I don't have it, well, maybe you want to target something like the point of control. Like it's so helpful in identifying what other people are attempting to do. Here, even if you're like, nope, I'll do a point of control, a bounce up to 91. People are trying to sell there for whatever reason. Look at that. Buyers come in right in off the point of control. How insane is that? Literally talking about it beforehand. It dips to the point of control, which is the highest volume node of the day, and it bounces right off. And then, yep, okay, sellers come in. So you got to ride it from 75 to 86. Bada bing, bada boom. You were in it for 20 seconds, made a couple $100. You're done for the day. All you need is one decent trade, and you could shut it down. And then if you want to have a runner, let's say you went long 2, you locked one in, set the other one to break even, and then ride the other one up to the key level. Double bada bing, bada boom. Double, maybe even a triple bada bing, bada boom. I don't know. I don't know how the science of bada bings, bada booms work, but it feels like that's the appropriate time. A little bit of a dip there. Come on. We're just waiting. We're just waiting to see if this titan of a player is going to be right. Look at all that negative gamma. Look at it. All that negative gamma calling our name like a siren. Play for the breakout, Matt. Play for the breakout. This iron condor doesn't know shit. Play for it, Matt. Just that sweet, seductive call of the breakout. The sweet, seductive call of that gamma breakout. Fuck. What happened here? Well, good thing I got out of some of those. I guess we're not touching VWAP. That was my big plan. Come on, be a fake out. Be a fake out. Mag 7 dipping a little. NASDAQ taking a little bit of a larger hit. SPY, lots of call selling there. People are locking in their profits on the overall market right there. Let's just hope that they're paper-handed and it comes right back. We're chilling at Meta at 780. I would love to see 800 today. Come on, this is what I wanted to see. Allow it to be a fake out. Allow it to be a fake out. Come on. Come on.
Order canceled.
All right, I just fucked up a weird little scalp. I meant to go long 2 again and ride this back up to 90, but instead it got in at 66.50 and got out at 6. I fucked something up. I attempted to literally do what I did right here, 957, what I did at 1007. I wanted to ride those 2 up to 85, maybe 90, but something got messed up there. Something got messed up. Well, this is definitely not right. I shouldn't be trading 10 contracts. That would be scary. That would not be appropriate. Come on. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could take a shot at it again. What do I need here? Dude, these ones need a miracle. What accounts are these two? 97 and 98. 97 and 98. Maybe I want to independently trade them just in case there is a good run today. Those two accounts are hurting. And this attempted bounce off the high from 2 days ago is also kind of hurting. That got hit. Kind of calming down there. What do we see here? What do we see here? I see there was a decent amount of profit taking in the first couple minutes, but it seems like that stopped. I mean, we might have a shot at a pretty decent recovery here. That puke was uncalled for. I agree. Just so you guys know, someone is seriously targeting 85. They just pulled the orders and punted it back up to 707, which we saw earlier today. And the point of control just hopped up to 75. The highest volume note of the day, with VWAP being at what? Why is VWAP not showing? VWAP. Oh, it's because VWAP's all the way up here. It's at 24 right now. All right. Lots of interest for people to hit the sell button at 707.5. So be a little careful about that. LMAO. Fortunately, my stomach agrees with talk about Crunchwrap Lux box with Baja Blast. Sounds like you have the diet of a king. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys this. Generally, when I have questions, like generically, I go to ChatGPT, but I've kind of realized that you guys are my ChatGPT. Side question, doesn't relate to the market. What are people's thoughts, not just on fasting, as in like intermittent fasting, where people are like, I only eat dinner. What are the thoughts? Has anyone in here done like a 2-day fast, a 3-day fast, a 5-day fast? I found out recently that there's actually a very prolific Reddit page for people who do like extreme fast. Do you like it? Do you don't? And the reason I'm really asking you is because I just read a study, and I don't know if it's internet bullshit or if there's like real things that back it up, of like a 3 to 5 day fast, like how it resets your system and it kills cells that could potentially become cancerous, like that type of stuff. Fasting is magic. Yes, it's not safe. 9 days. Intermittent fasting works. So I already intermittent fast, but not intentionally. I just don't eat breakfast. Even though I love breakfast food, I don't eat breakfast. So I kind of like don't really, I unintentionally intermittent fast. I'm wondering if I should do like a 2 to 3 day fast. Currently on day 2 of a fast. I've done it. I've done 72 hours. And like, would you say it's worth it? What are the pros? What are the cons? I did a 3-day fast. I do it once a month. How often? Or like, how long is the fast when you do it once a month? Do you just not eat for like 2 days? Like, is 2 days the perfect time? Is 3 days the perfect time? 18-hour fast, I don't eat. Well, okay, so that's intermittent fasting. I'm more so specifically, like I said, I already intermittent fast unintentionally. I'm talking about like a legit multi-day fast. Any day is good, even if 12-hour fast for the win. I eat once every few days because I don't get enough in disability, and it's not great, but not really harmful. So you're saying due to disabilities, like forcing you to be, from a food perspective, healthier? 3 days. 1 meal a day if your window is less than 6 hours is very good. Every 2 months, a 5-day fast? I do a 30-day fast once a month. So it's just the months like this one where there's 31 days that you're like, finally I can eat, and then it restarts. Fasting is safe when done right. Don't go longer than 2 days to start. So I heard like by day 2 or 3, that's when you start having to need to get electrolytes, and you do like bone broth or like one of those packets or anything like that. I do intermittent fasting 4 days a week. Makes you younger. Well, okay, so for those of you who have done a 2-day fast, a 3-day fast, like I'm talking about multiple days, not intermittent fasting, but a multiple day fast, what are the major pros and what are the major cons? Like, obviously you had to do it for some reason. So that reason, did it end up getting what you wanted? Like, was your goal Is it just a fast way to lose weight? Do you feel like, I don't know, do you feel like it, I suppose I'm trying to wrap my head around of why did you attempt to do it? And then were the results exactly what you wanted? The second day can be rough, but then your body switches to use ketones, and then the next 5 days weren't too bad. I do a week every 3 months. Energy, salt and potassium, water and sleep. I don't eat. I don't eat. Only drink booze. No cons. Interesting. Clears up inflammation. 3-day fast. Second day is the toughest. Just eat steak. Lower insulin resistance is the biggest pro. Your brain and you lose weight. Lots of energy. I assume you're saying you're not losing a lot of energy. I assume you're saying you gain a lot of energy. Body composition, reset, focus, energy. I heard after 36 hours, you will start to lose muscle. Well, I assume the glycogen within your muscles is going to be eaten up because that's your main food source. Like your body is going to use the glycogen in your muscles as its first source. And then from there, that's when it goes to the adipose fat, like in terms. And then after that is what people are referring to when you start eating like ketones instead. Days 1 and 2, you feel weaker because your body's attempting to shift to ketosis. After the third day, it is in ketosis, and you will have lots of energy, but in shorter bursts since you have no carbs. So that must be the glycogen in the muscles. Interesting. Jump-started a diet workout regime, made me feel new, puts me into a good mental state. After 56 hours, cons, it can make you feel super good for a bit, but sleepy. Interesting. Oh, fuck. The market's turning. What time is it? Oh. All right. So quite a bit of support coming in at 65 here. So we don't need that one. And we don't need that one. Okay, cool. All right. So just to double check. Yeah, these have not traded. Obviously, I'm manually trading this bullshit, which is actually pretty much where I started off because of this dip. I really thought we were going up to VWAP. Really did. Uh-oh. Meta's tilting a little bit. What time is it? 10:22. Come on, Meta. Hold. Little bit of profit taken. So quite a bit of excitement out of the gate. We're still in the positive territory. We're right here ever since 10:20. A little bit of a bleed off in the Mag 7. Here's Meta. Meta's holding on a bit better. Come on, Meta. Don't do me dirty. Don't do me dirty, Meta. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. That's not so good there, Tonto. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30. I don't like that necessarily for intraday momentum trades. Come on. We're one standard deviation move from VWAP, so maybe this will serve as support. 40. 640 is the one standard deviation move. Come on. Bounce it back. Bounce it back. I'm still up 25K. Man, I'm loving that. Be cooler if it was 250K. Imagine if I 10x that. Fasting is life-changing. Anyone know the song from this morning? They're all on the other channel. We give them out for free. Done 5 and 7 day fast for a system reset. You want to do at least 3 days, but they are right to say that the longer term fasts are detrimental to muscle. Glycogen can be supplied for muscles. Protein cannot. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an interest in necessarily doing more than 2 or 3. I don't know, maybe that is a good thing, but like my initial idea is just, hey, let's see what like a 2 or 3 day. Oh, interesting. It helps your arthritis. That's what someone else was saying about inflammation. Interesting. Multiple people are saying inflammation, it helps. The more you know, the power of knowledge. All right, Mag 7 still tilting a little. SPY is actually turning back around. It might be attempting to put in a bottom here. Let's pay attention to this. Maybe finding support at the previous all-time high at 6409. See how we wicked it? We wicked it. Basically here, you're just waiting to see if it could take out 18. Really, here's the question is it going to take out... Here, let me switch this up as not to confuse anyone. Will we take out 6418 or will we take out... I mean, honestly, you could even probably play a tighter range of 6404. We're just kind of waiting for one of these things to happen. Fingers crossed for the upside movement. Mag 7, we still have some profit taking. How's Meta looking? Meta's dipping a little. I don't like that. Come on, Meta. Let's talk about 800 today. Let's talk about 800. Oh, Matt doesn't rate Rumble Chat. That's because you guys are fucking babies. You cry about everything, but then you act so macho. Try 1.5 days to start. This is correct. Your body will eat what it's not using. It's why when people are in the hospital, they lose the ability to walk from being in bed for 3 days. Interesting. Maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days. All right, very quickly, don't forget, Take Profit Trader is running a crazy deal. 40% off, no activation fee, and potential 100% initial test refund on your first withdrawal. So you get paid your withdrawal and your initial test, which means you could effectively get your pro account for 0. Just use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, when you are checking out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And fuck, I might need to be buying it soon if these keep dipping. Well, actually, no, this is just Apex. My take profits are fine. I was going to say I'm going to have to buy more, but no, it's once again just Apex that are giving me a problem because the market isn't doing what it's supposed to. It's all these short ladder attacks, man. It's all these freaking short ladder attacks. Can't believe it. On the day of my daughter's wedding. On the day of my daughter's wedding. Dude, is this legit about to break down? No, stop it. Stop it. So the SPY was able to push and make a fresh high. The Qs definitely did not. Quite a bit of profit taking right at market open. And now the momentum not looking so good. Mag 7 was good for the first 9 minutes. SPY good for the first, well, it dipped, went up, a little bit of a different, and then from 10 till now. I still, something about it, man. I still feel like we're going to end up popping here. I'm just looking for a nice higher low to be put in that I could take advantage of. I have a daughter, and every time you say that, I have a small panic attack. Because was it also the day of your daughter's wedding? Too much exit liquidity? I guess. I think you mean exit. You know that's not... Liquidity is the sitting orders. I just want to be clear on that. Liquidity is sitting orders and how deep the books are. It's not the actual trade volume. If you're trying to say too much exit trades, profit taking, that those are trades. Liquidity is like the sitting orders in the book. It's how deep are books. And I, for whatever reason, I'm seeing this a lot on Twitter where people are like confusing those two things a lot. And I guess I don't know where it's coming from, but they do have like the term liquidity when trading has a very specific meaning, a very specific definition, and for whatever reason, it gets confused quite a bit. Example of biofilm, dental plaque. It's allegedly the golden goose of corruption in healthcare. Wait, what? Wait, Matt as a child, not that I know of. But it could be the day of our daughter's wedding any day. It's a state of mind, kind of. You know how Pedro Pascal has this state of mind that he has like anxiety and needs to keep touching like the women around him. That's how, like, that's a state of mind. It's also a state of mind when it's the day of your daughter's wedding. The liquidity on the undecided candles is screwing us. Dude, that's the story of my life right now. Like, come on, man. Come on. Let the kids play. That's Matt with Slim Jims, dude. I crush Slim Jims. I wish I were a spokesperson for Slim and Jim. For Slim and Jim. Pedro Pascal's state of mind is that he's a decent actor, needs a reality check. It does feel like he's gone off the rails ever since the first season of The Last of Us. Is that his show? The one with the chick that everyone now hates, season 2? The, like, zombie mushroom show? It feels like he's had quite the behavioral change. If you're fasting and don't get any, does your equipment stop working? I'm not going to have to worry about that because I've never gotten any. Because I don't want to spend an eternity in hell. What are we doing? Are we popping or not? Are we popping or not? Dude, I'm going to be waiting forever for this. Like, we've actually kind of gone nowhere since minute 2 of the day. Like, we traded from 9:30 to 9:31, and then from 9:31 until now, we've kind of done nothing. Like, a little down, a little up, a little down. Yeah, no, the exciting move was the first minute of the day. I suppose catching this ES pump back up is cool, but we really haven't done anything since 9:31. It's to the point that you guys are teaching me about fasting. Tesla death candle? Tesla's dead? Ooh, that's not good. You're not wrong. But hasn't had a big breakdown. I'd be a little bit more concerned if it takes out 311, and then I'd be looking for the test of just this upward sloping line. Apple trying to recover. Remember, Apple has earnings tonight. Tesla's not looking good. Palantir, new all-time high. Avago, new all-time high, but now giving it back. NVIDIA, new all-time high, and it actually had a nice gap up. Microsoft, obviously, a new all-time high, giving some of it back. Meta, new all-time high, and looking beautiful. Looking B-E-A-U. Dude, I want to see 800 so bad. I want to see 800 so fucking bad. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little crazy here, and I'm going to start manually trading more shit. Is that a smart idea? Absolutely not. What is this account? 9. 9999. Okay, we did that. 9. We don't need this. We don't need this. On the day of my daughter's wedding. Okay, I think I have done this right. I believe I have done this right, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. 7 long. I wish. I'm about to rip 7 long. I just need the Mag 7 to stop looking like such a bitch, dude. Look at all these profit takers on the Mag 7. Like, what babies. What absolute children. What the fuck, dude? What is this?
Order filled.
What the fuck was that? Oh, all right. That made more money. And I just turned off the other strategies to not trade that. Son of a bitch. Okay. So that hit all the take profit accounts. As you can see, they're all bigger now, but it did not hit the Tradeify accounts because I literally just said, hey, I'm going to manually trade them because I think I'm smarter. And here I am. Not getting a super easy trade right there. Sometimes I wonder if my stupidity knows no bounds. Like, is there a way that the Guinness Book of World Records could somehow measure my dumbassery? Like, I feel like I deserve some sort of award and some sort of recognition for this. So I missed out on the Apex trade because of a data disconnect, which then prompted me to manually trade it. And of course, I'm long, and then the market puked. So that's awesome. And then I just randomly disconnected Tradeify accounts to quote unquote manually trade. And it was minutes before missing out on like an actual systematic trade where I know like the exact stats, facts, and figures of it, and that it should statistically make me money. Would it be Matt without some type of blunder? Exactly. Exactly. Come on, let's get this bounce back. Let's make it all worth it. Let's make it all. I think I'm actually done. So all the systems ran today and all the systems hit. Yeah, so that one just hit. So those are done now. So the only ones that I have to show you that did well are the take profits. So these are the take profits are the ones that I've run the system on and nothing in between. And even look at the slippage there. The lead account made 495 and the minimal account made 225. Just like a huge differential. A fucking huge differential. 19. So that only got 1 point. That only got 1 point. That got 1.5. That got only 1 point. Yeah, so even on this trade, trading them together, because that was just the take profit accounts, there was even 0.5 point of slippage on that. I think why can't I have it as a pen? Like, I want it as a sitting order. NQ is not looking so good. All right, yeah, today's going to be the day of trying to figure out how can I battle slippage. And the major thing that comes to mind is having to run this code independently, which it's an easy solution. It's just time consuming. Because even that one, on someone's suggestion in chat, I attempted to just do take profit together, and it did not work well. There was still some slippage. Not as much slippage as before, but definitely still some slippage. So I have two options. I could try a whole new trade copier, but I don't think it's the trade copier. Well, it might be the trade copier. If the trade copier were faster, there would be less issues. Or I could just turn all the code on independently. So to make that easier, I could try to combine some of the strategies. That wouldn't be the most insane thing. Like, to help, if I do want to run the strategies independently, I could probably combine. So I'm running 6 or 7. I could probably put 4 of them all together in one. That one has to run independently. That one has to run independently. So 3 of them. So I would still have to run 4. So 4 times 30. I'd have to set up 120 strategies. That seems like a pain in the dick. Seems like Apex is using shitty code. Probably. I mean, have you seen like apexinvesting.com where you buy it? no one's assuming that website is some sort of like lights out coding phenom. Same thing with Rhythmic. Same thing with Trade. Like if you look at these websites, like they look like they were built in the fucking 90s. Trust me, no one is accusing them of having the best coding talent. I don't understand why there's slippage when the strategy has stop set. Can't it just set the stops individually? That's not where the slippage is. The slippage is generally on the entry. Having a stop set, whether to enter or to exit, doesn't have to do with slippage. Slippage is the measurement of where your stop is, whether for entry or exit, versus where you actually get to fill. Like that's the definition of slippage. Come on, Meta. Don't do this to me. Come on, Meta. I thought we were going to see 800 today. We just made a fresh low on the Qs. SPY is not that far away. Neither of them have hit their downside gap fill yet. Oh, I would rather just turn it around right now and start to skyrocket, but I also necessarily wouldn't mind if we clean up the chart, hitting the downside gap fill, bouncing off of that, and then ripping for the rest of the day. I'd be a fan of that situation, but we're going to have to see. We are not, the Nasdaq's not looking so good. Matt's talking about NIP slippage. Yeah, what else would I be talking about? Bearish, bearish, bearish. Bearish, bearish, bearish. That's not so good. Not so good. We just are slowly grinding down, and I have a feeling it's a lot. Yeah, look at that. Calls popped up until 9:39 on the Mag 7, and then calls are just being sold. No one's even really touching puts. They bought some puts right here at 10:20, but really this is just profit taking. Calls are just getting sold right here. They're just getting walked down, walked down, walked down. Looking at the S&P 500, same thing, a little bit worse. Some people are getting longer dated puts, probably just saying, hey, we're at an all-time high. I don't agree with that play, but that's what's happening. But right here at 10:10, you can see same thing. People are just selling calls. They're selling longer dated calls and buying longer dated puts, and not too many people are screwing with the 0DT. Not too many people. Yeah. Lots of profit taking in the Mag 7, and then on the S&P 500, there's profit taking and apparently some puts being bought. Whether it's to open or close, that we would have to double check the open interest and see how it settles at the end of the day. But if I just had to guess, I would guess that people are buying protection just because we're up so much, so they'll probably try to ride the trend, but just in case there's a reversal, they have protection. They're probably just using a portion of their profits to buy protection, so it's free for them. Rumble has been weird lately. I mean, Cole, you've been one of the weird people on Rumble. Just to clarify. It's like you're almost saying that in a mirror. You're like, why has it been so weird? And then like it's you, like you're talking to the mirror. It is in fact you. Anyone buying Figma today? Trading IPOs is a loser game. In the aggregate, you might get lucky here or there on like one or two IPOs, but in aggregate, trading an IPO, it's a silly game. It's a silly game. They're fun to watch. They generally are extremely overvalued and then fall. So if you're day trading it, scalp trading it, I mean, have at it, but still, like, what are you basing it off? Even if you're day trading and scalp trading, you should know highs and lows. And by the fact that it's making its debut means you just don't have much data to go off of. Like it's, if you're trading an IPO, it's purely gambling. Like you don't have data to base it off of. The stats aren't in your favor by any means. It's pure gambling. And if that's what you want to do, dude, have at it. Obviously, I wish you the best of luck, but like, it's not something that you're going to do time and time again and watch your account grow. It's just generally not worth the effort. Come on, Meta. I'm seeing a little green there. I'm still seeing a little green here on the Qs. We're going to bounce out of this. All right. We're seeing some life. We're seeing some life. Duplicated new tab. What is the ATR right now? Indicators, 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 indicators. Why do I not have the ATR? Where the fuck is the average true range? ATR. Add. We'll look at the 20 period. I don't know why it defaults to 14. I don't know who came up with that, but that was a ballsy decision on that person to be like, you know what? I think everyone wants 18 or 14. I think the default ATR should be 14. And they're like, do you mean 15? Do you mean 3 trading weeks? And they're like, no. I want 14. Doesn't make the most sense to me. I don't know why that's the default. Someone's going to have to tell me the history of ATR and why the fuck it defaults. Nope, we're still going down. Jesus. All right. Earlier today, we were talking about 700. Now we're talking about 600. And just like that, we're 100 points less. And counting. At some point today, I think we were even at 800. All right. Some buyers are trying to step in right here off of 90. Off of 90. Will they do it? Or is it just going to get blown through? Okay, they're getting filled. They're not pulling the orders. All these red circles mean that buyers got filled on the bid. That's aggressive selling. Are they going to get the pop out of here that they're looking for? All right, that's some buyers. Oh, some sellers. Oh, chunk of sellers. More buyers coming in right here. All right, we've turned from a period of like easy selling to decent buying. What do we got? Who's going to win this? We're watching the battle of the Titans right now. The Bulls versus the Bears. And you can see Bears. And now all of a sudden, who's fighting back? Did it actually get the gap fill? Because that might be technically did it. It did. It perfectly touched it on the Qs. The SPY still has a little bit more. The SPY missed it by a cent. The Qs hit it exactly. The SPY's a little bit off. Oh, Meta, I don't want to see that. Come on. Can't we just start to bounce out of here? Can't this be the liftoff zone? All right, we got some buyers. This is the first attempt. This is the first attempt. Huh. The ATR is 16 points. That's quite a bit more than it's been recently. We're definitely getting some ranges in here. So we had more buy-ins coming in right now.
Order submitted.
I'm trying to do a cheeky little scalp trade on this. Hmm.
Order filled.
Whoa. What the fuck? Why in the fuck did it do that? How much does it think I was up? It just blew me out, but you have a 2.5K drawdown. It thinks I was I up $700 at one point today? 700? When the fuck was I up? Chat, was I up $700 at some point today unrealized? $700? I thought I was down all day. At what fucking point was I up $700? 700? I was in the green? In the first 10 minutes? No, in my second trade of the day, I went red in the third trade. I was up like $40. This is early on the day you were down the rest of it. No, I wasn't up 700. It was up like $100. All right, right here we have okay, we just got the downside gap fills on the SPY and the Q. What kind of fucking math are they playing with today? When was I up? I don't know. This is a question that, was it on this first push here at 9:57? It might have been then. Yeah, it might have been on that very first push. Remember when I was talking about the push to VWAP at 725? I was in at 680. I locked into, and then we had a push. It might have been around then. All right, let's see if some buyers are actually going to step in now. We got the downside gap fill. Things have been bleeding off until that point. There's no way you could properly predict of if we will or won't bounce from here. If anything, this is just like that key level that you have to identify and be like, okay, like, is this important or not? And it doesn't. Dude, we've dropped hundreds of points on NQ today. That's a lot of profit taking. I doubt there's an extreme amount of bears stepping in right now. I highly, highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Well, some buyers are trying to step in at 550 here. Yeah, that was lethargic. We got a little bit of a pop. It got exciting there for a second at 1050, and then that was just met by extreme selling. Matt, you need to be testing with micros. This is getting sad. Just do one real day with minis at the beginning of the day, then micros for everything else. What do you mean? That wasn't code. Chris, have you even been watching? I think it was like very evident to everyone. I was just manually trading it because it already broke from the systems with the slippage. It's so interesting to me when people like feel like they have this like massive insight, but then they're just so comically wrong. Like everyone else, I announced it. I was like, oh, okay, there's massive slippage. Let's go over here. I even said it was dumb. I was like, oh, I'm going to like manually trade this. And then to step in and be like, oh, you should be testing on mid. Is like, I wasn't even testing anything. Like at all. It's just so fascinating to me, like this advice that people love to give when they're just like not even paying attention to what the fuck's going on. All the strategies work today. The issue, and the strategies can't account for slippage. The thing I would have to do there, as I've already now said 9 times, is run it independently. But that also means that I'm going to either have to set up 180 different strategies or consolidate and then maybe only have to set up maybe 80, maybe 100, but it still like is a lot. But that's been like well discussed. I don't think anyone else in the stream is like kind of questioning what went on there. The strategies worked. There was slippage, so I turned it off and it just was fucking off. I hear Matt is also a famous hand model. You know it. That's where I make the big bucks from. The big bucks. Market correction, are we going down 10%? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Where my bears at? Being bearish at an all-time high is not a smart play. Not a smart play whatsoever. You answered the question about ATR. ATR uses 14 because in 1978, J. Wells White Jr. thought it provided a balanced view of short to medium vol without being too reactive or slow. Yeah, but still, why 14? Why not 15? Why not 13? Like, that still doesn't answer how he came up with 14, because if you add one or subtract one, if you add 2 or subtract 2, there's not much of a mathematical difference. 14 is just like a strange one. You would think at that point you would just do 15, because that would be on the daily chart at least 3 weeks worth of trading. Damn. Even this meta, I'm wondering if I should just take this now or if I should give it a chance. I'm up 21K. The most I saw was 25, 26. I'm attempting to give this a chance to see if it actually will recover. But if we just keep going, like, it sucks to do it right now because this is it's a high potential bounce zone. We have the high from yesterday. We have the top of the transition zone. We're right below a psychological level. That's a key open interest level. Like, no one would be surprised if we bounce out of here. Like, yeah, people just bought the dip, the overextension on the dip. 100%. 100%. But there's also a non-0% chance that this is the start of a sell-off and we hit the close from yesterday, we get trapped in this, and then there's no bounce. So that's the thing of unknowns is, by definition, they are unknown. You don't know which way it's going to go, so you're trying to react accordingly. It's easier to do it if you don't have a position, because then you're just waiting for one of them to become evident, and then you're playing it in that way. But then when you have a position like I do on Meta, then it becomes a question of, do I cut now and ensure what you do have, or do you give it a little bit of room to breathe? And if it bounces, you make a lot more, but if it breaks down, you're going to give back quite a bit of like the unrealized. So that's the Matt, 47 minutes ago, you were up 700 to 500 per account. Okay, so it had to be right on that first push. I thought I was still negative at that point. The measurement from unrealized drawdown sucks ass. It really does. Possibly early sell-off going into August. Could be. The seasonality of the first day of August, it is bearish. Over the past 3 decades worth of data, and really even looking at the 3-year and the 5-year time frame, even the 10. So the 3, the 5, the 10, and the 27, the first day of August does favor the bears. The degree to which it favors it has changed dramatically over the years. So some years it is bullish, some years it is slightly bearish, some years it is even more bearish. And the way it all nets out, the average, the median movement is favoring the bears. Actually kind of like a clearly bearish seasonality day. And remember, seasonality is not the end all be all. Like, there's rarely days that you could find that is 100% bullish, 100% bearish. In fact, I don't think by the time you take in 2 to 3 decades worth of data, I don't think one of those days exists. Like, there's always some non-0% chance that the opposite is going to happen, even on like all of our historic data. But you should know that, yes, tomorrow the bears do have a bit of the upper hand, but there's always an argument that each year is different. And you could argue this year has a special set of data because August 1st is the announced trade deadline. So yeah, that is something to consider. Something to consider, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I went to get coffee. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this. For the sell-off. Dude, the sad thing was I got a short signal. I had this indicator telling me to go short at 10-12. 115 points above where we are right now. That's brutal. That's brutal. Yeah, I got a bearish signal at 10:12 a.m. ET, July 31st. Son of a gun. That would have been a crazy play. Ah, that's frustrating. I am happy, though, that Meta is apparently showing some resistance here. It's really holding on to 775, even though the SPY and the Qs are taking a hit. Part of me thinks just take this money and run. And then the other part of me says, but the trend's not broken down. And you are a trend following trader. Like the human aspect of me says, dude, it's 25 grand. Take the 25 grand. That's a great trade. You made a shitload of money. But then the mathematician in me is saying, why would you get out right now? The trend's up. You're going to have 50% winners. You're going to have 50% losers. The way you lose in that situation is if you hold your losers too long and get out of your winners too early. And I'm really, really trying to not get out of this too early, because obviously, what if by the end of the day, this just rips to 800? Which also you could fairly say, what if by the end of the day, it falls back down to 750? It like obviously always cuts both ways. It always cuts both ways. What's the flow look like specifically on Meta? Sideways. See, this is kind of, if I saw this diving, I would get out, but there's not profit taking. If anything, people were creating bullish positions up until 940, and it's just holding. So from like a quantifiable standpoint, like from what data can we measure, people are not getting out of it. They're just holding. Yeah, we're drifting down, and yeah, there's a little bit of profit taking. But relative to what we're seeing here in the Mag 7, wildly different. Legit profit taking across the Mag 7, legit profit taking in the S&P 500. And just to show you that comparison, look at Meta. So it's just following the Qs. Nope, not really. Actually, very distinct price. I mean, Meta's up 11.2%. The Qs are up 0.4%. Intraday, the Q's made a new intraday low. Meta has not. It's at its opening value. And then the options flow is measurably different. Look at the Mag 7 puked all day. Meta's holding flat. So to say it's following the Q's, I would say the percentage-wise, intraday price structure and options flow are all markedly different for Meta versus the Q's. If you're saying they're both trending down from 10-15 until now, okay. I think there's probably a more in-depth conversation you should have beyond that. There's a bull and a bear in everyone. Do you think big money is selling Meta on this pop? I mean, it just doesn't matter. I think a lot of trading, remember, spend your time asking questions that are actually impactful. Who cares if it's big or small guys? Would you say? What was the exact question there? Like, all that matters is the amount of money. Like, it's just, in aggregate, are people buying? Aggressively buying? Are they aggressively selling? If so, how much? Or what are they targeting? Like, all you should care about is the things that you can actually measure, rather than, like, trying to guess who. Like, oh, do you think this hedge fund's selling? I don't give a fuck. What matters is the price. What matters is the data we can measure. It does not matter if we can pinpoint the person who is selling. That has no impact to me whatsoever. All I care about are the net numbers. Net aggressive buying, net aggressive selling, net call buying, not net put buying. How is it? Tell me the gamma levels, tell me the delta levels. Give me the things that I could actually base off of. If you tell me, oh, BlackRock's selling, but I don't know, Vanguard's buying, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So in terms of big money, it doesn't matter. And also, it's kind of impossible. Do you think big money is selling Meta on this pop? If big money is selling, inherently big money has to be buying. You can't sell into the ether. For a big player to sell, that means a big player has to buy, or at least in aggregate, the dollar value amount of a big player has to buy. You cannot sell into nothing. So even when people talk about profit taking, when they are selling at open on a big pop, guess what is happening simultaneously? People are buying at open on that pop because they're getting sold into. So the question in itself, and like, I think sometimes it is important to boil this down to like how markets actually function, but that's a very important part of how markets function. When people say, is big money selling? Think about what you're actually saying. That means there's a large amount of people hitting the exit button, probably hitting market sell. That means there's a lot of buy side liquidity absorbing that because they were sitting there ready to buy. Whenever you have a sale, you have a purchase. Whenever you have a purchase, you have a sale. That's how markets work. You have a willing buyer on one side and a willing seller on the other side. The asset goes one way, the money goes the other way, and that's it. Every buyer has a seller. Every seller has a buyer. That's how this game works. There is no way you can have buyers without sellers or sellers without buyers. This is how markets work. And I don't think it's taught, or maybe people just don't take the time to like understand like on a deeper level, like how markets actually function. Like people, you hear it all the time of like, look at all this buying, look at all this selling. They're equal. How can you have an imbalance of buying and selling? That's impossible. If you try to buy and there's more buying than selling, you can't buy it because not enough people sold it. If you try to buy 15 shares, but someone's only selling 10, guess what? You only buy 10. The other 5 aren't just like magically created out of the ether. That's not how it works. And it cuts both ways. If you sell 20, someone's going to buy 20. That's how it works. If no one wants to buy 20, guess what? You only sold what other people were willing to buy. You always need 2 willing participants at minimum. At minimum. Let's get Piper to pull a tarot card. Only way to know for sure. I think she's probably napping, dude. We're getting close to her nap time. All right. Is this our time for the bounce? Are we finally going to fucking bounce out of this? Trump is truthing about Mexico tariffs, by the way. Oh, golly. Golly gee willikers. I have just concluded a telephone conversation with the president of Mexico, Ms. Scheinbaum, which was very successful in that more and more we are getting to know and understand each other. The complexities of the deal with Mexico are somewhat different than the other nations because of both problems and assets of the border. We have agreed to extend for a 90-day period the exact same deal as we had for the last short period of time, namely that Mexico will continue to pay a 25% fentanyl tariff, 25% tariff on cars, and 50% tariff on steel. Aluminum and copper. Additionally, Mexico has agreed to immediately terminate its non-tariff trade barriers, of which there were many. We will be talking to Mexico over the next 90 days with the goal of signing a trade deal somewhere within the next 90-day period or longer. Present at the meeting were Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary Bessent, whatever, Rubio, Lutnick, blah, 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 blah. There will be continued cooperation with the border as it relates to all aspects of security, including drugs, drug distribution, and illegal immigration into the United States. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Where was this? Was it on CNBC? Dude, literally this guy last week promised that there would be no more trade extensions. Trump trade, I don't know, dude. This guy's talked so much. We covered the news. But yeah, once again, taco situation. Taco situation, another extension. Another extension, another extension. What? Can you tie it back to how buying and selling drives price action then? It's not, it's just where do you agree on the price? The buyers and the sellers agree on a price. Do they agree on a higher price, a lower price, or the same price? It's alpha mind. This is not like I'm not trying to fucking blindside you with some like deep mathematical like framework. Think about it. Like, it's just, hey, do you want to buy stock XYZ for $10? Yes or no? I'm trying to sell it. You have the option to buy it. You either agree or you don't agree. If you agree, guess what? Trade goes through at $10. If I'm trying to sell it at $11, do you want to buy it? Yes or no? That's all it is. I don't I'm not trying to confuse anyone. I'm not trying to like overcomplicate it. It's actually really, really simple. You have willing buyers, you have willing sellers. The highest willing buyer and the lowest willing seller are your bid and your ask. The highest willing buyer could go up, the highest willing seller could go up. The highest willing buyer can go down, the lowest willing seller can go down. That's your bid and your ask. The bid and the ask are the highest willing buyer and the lowest willing seller, and those two are the closest, and when they meet, a trade goes through. They could agree on a higher and higher price. They could agree on a lower and lower price. They can agree on the same price all fucking day if they want, and then the price doesn't move. It's not, I don't, like, it's no different than any market ever. If I'm trying to sell a house for $100,000 and you want to buy it, great. The trade goes through at $100,000. If I'm trying to sell it at $125, but you don't like it, but someone else does, great. Trade goes through at $125. If I try to sell it at $100 and no one's buying it, so I lower it to $90 and you're like, yeah, I'll buy it for $90. Great. The trade goes through at $90. It's the highest willing buyer and the lowest willing seller. And it's no different than any other market in the world. Like the stock market, it happens fast and it happens obviously in more of a digital scape, but I don't know. It's not different than any other market. It's just, it happens fast and there's a lot of money behind it. So I think the way in which it's presented to us causes maybe some confusion. But I think if you just take a hot sec to really think about like what it is, it's not complicated. Well, that's a lie. The market structure itself is hyper complicated. All right, this is fucking going down. Jesus. Well, this might be very quickly just a bullshit day. We dipped right into this gamma. We might get stuck here now. Meta's not looking good. Fuck. Balls. What's it basing this last value off of? Whatever. Did it hit? Nope. Oh, wait. Why is that so wildly far off than the current price? Uh, 33.50. Oh, that was, yeah, the two screens showed different prices there. The spread's 25 cents on those, unfortunately. Fuck. Yeah, I guess to clarify, like, I'm not saying that this is like bearish and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking more so that it gets sucked into all this positive gamma and ends up becoming like kind of a boring fucking day. I was hoping that it found some support at this 50 EMA, like it even like a little bit of an overshoot, but this crack right here leaves a little bit to be desired. Definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. Yeah, even the bearish. The momentum is bearish, but that's so positive. This might call, yeah. Maybe we balance. Very quickly became a day without much. Jesus, this is moving. The fuck, dude? All right, I think I got my fill. Yep, I did. Cool. Up 30K, locked in 20K net profit on that, 30K return on the account today. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Yeah, I was trying to hold hope right here that this bounce would be that recovery, but the fact that we cracked that and now I could see we're getting sucked into this transition zone. I'd rather just institutional selling. Is that true? Yeah, a little bit true. A tiny bit true. Yeah, just a bust. A bust, a bust, a bust. So I'm just going to wait for the next opportunity. But that's pretty much all she wrote. Remember, do not forget to take advantage of this insane deal at Take Profit Trader. 40% off, no activation fees, and 100% of your initial test refunds on your first withdrawal, which means you could get a funded account for $0 if you get all the way through. Use that code Goonie to take advantage of the deal. If you already have a pre-existing Take Profit account, bad news, it doesn't apply to those. Good news that they're all, like, running this deal. Bad news, it does not apply to pre-existing accounts, which is a bummer because I literally got my accounts yesterday. So I just missed it by that much, by the hair on my chinny chin. So that sucks, but it is what it is. So check them out. Take Profit Trader, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. We'll be posting some stuff later on today and then streaming once again tomorrow. That's what I have for you. I hope you guys made a shitload of money, a lot of money, and I hope you do for the remainder of the day. Just be careful. Obviously, respect your risk, respect the key levels, and respect your overall leverage because when it goes on you, it can go fast. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you later. Bye.